Today I'm going to be working on this STIHL backpack blower. It's a 6R 450, I believe. And that may be. Anyways, that's this here. And I'm going to set the camera down and we're going to check it for spark. Okay, I put this rag in there to hopefully make it so we can see it a little bit better. Matter of fact, it might come up a little bit more like that. Let's see if we got spark. And I do see spark. And it does have compression because it's pulling quite hard. It still won't start. But I have removed the cover for the air filter. And if you can see that, it's pretty dirty. So we're going to take that off. I'm going to take the spark plug out. I'm going to put a little fuel in the spark plug hole, and we can see if it fires off. And if you can see that spark plug's pretty black, which could have been caused by the air filter being plugged up like that. But I'm going to try a different spark plug. I think RCJ6Y is Champion. I do have that other plug. And what I wanted to do is fire. If it fires off, I don't think I can get it to run, but we're going to find out. While we're at it, we're going to smell this gas. The gas doesn't smell real bad. I mean, I think it should run. Let's give it a shot. Okay, it runs. I had boosted up the throttle. All right, so next thing it looks like we need to go into is, let's try, let's see if it'll run with the choke on. Okay, if they're all that easy, it would be great. It looks like a new spark plug, and you can see, like I said, I can see that one. It is black, and the blackness I think was caused by this dirty air filter. So we need a new air filter. I'll get a new plug, so I'm using a used plug. And then I'm going to take this all apart, and I'm going to clean this up anyways. Inside, make sure that around the cylinder is clean. Let's just take that apart and take a look at it. As I can get that with about 4 screws maybe. I might have torque screwdriver that size. It'll be interesting to find out whether or not that recoil is mounted to this plastic cover, or if it's screwed into something else solid. Yep, it's screwed into something solid. That's the way I would have done it. The reason I'm taking it apart because a lot of dirt and debris gets on the fins, the cooling fins of the engine, and it makes them run hot. And so while I got a chance, we should take it apart and get it clean. We'll blow all that out and get it all nice so we can get rid of the heat. Because it looks like it's going to run. I can get some parts ordered for this thing. Might be able to pick up these parts locally. I'm going to have to go try. And if you can see that, that's going to need cleaned up. This isn't the part I was talking about being dirty. The part I'm talking about is right here. All this. And it doesn't look too bad. We'll clean up down in here and down around in here. That's really bad. But the cobwebs and stuff are not a problem. It's just mainly all the fins that go through. I'll take air to it, clean that all up, but we'll clean all this up. And around the carburetor, get it clean. And then put a new filter in it. And make sure this blower on the back side's clear. It looks like it is. We'll put this thing back together. So let me get that part done, and I'll see if we can find a filter and clean this up. Put it back together. So I'm going to pause it right here. This looks like it's going to be an easy one. Famous last words. All right, I'm back from cleaning, and I think you'll see a great improvement. You can actually see the carburetor, and if you look down, way down underneath here, right in there, you can see the coil. Couldn't see that before, it was all black. Got some oxidation. It cleaned up pretty good. I got to order the parts yet. But overall, this is going to clean up and it's going to run okay. There was quite a bit of oil and dirt, and well, around here is clay. And that clay sticks to everything and makes everything stick to it. And that's what a lot of this was. So that's all gone now. And I think with a new filter, and I'll put a new plug in it, And I got a couple repairs I think I'm going to try to fix. Broken plastic here. And maybe clean up this a little bit. But other than that, I think this thing's operational. So I'll get the parts and I'll be back. Well, I'm back, and you can see I put a new filter on. Old filter versus new filter. And old spark plug versus nice and shiny spark plug, which I already put in. I'm going to start it. I don't have the recoil back on there, but I'm going to go ahead and start it. I think we have another problem, though. Go the other way. As you can see, in order for me to keep it running, I have to give it a choke once in a while, so it's running lean. I've already dumped the tank out, and there was a little bit of water in it, but not enough to say that's the problem. Unfortunately, I think it's the carburetor. And it may be either there's something obstructing the inside the carburetor or the fuel pump part of it's not working correctly. So I got to take the carburetor apart, and that's what I'm going to do next. If it does run better with the filter on it and the spark plug, this spark plug wouldn't even fire across the gap, but if you pull the spark plug away from the ground, it'll jump. So it's definitely was fouled out. And being that rich, running that rich, I think that was caused by this being so filthy. There was no airflow, so of course it riched the carburetor up because of no air, and then it falls out the plug. But right now it appears they can't get enough gas because we've cleaned everything up and it's running right, but it can't deliver enough fuel now. So I'm going to go ahead and take the carburetor off and clean it, check the diaphragms, and put it back together, see if we can get it run. One thing I don't like that, and I know why they do it, and I'm going to see if I can get it turned where you can see it. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, get back here. Come on. All right, right there. That little red thing right there. So this is the low speed idle right here, and I should be able to richen this up, and this is as far as you can go. It's not even an eighth of a turn. They've got it locked, and they do the same thing with the high speed. And I don't know how you get these out of here yet. I'll figure it out. But if I could right now, if I could richen it up with the low speed, I could probably make this thing work. but I am going to take it apart and clean it. There may be something obstructing that port, but I don't know why they did this other than to keep people from adjusting the carburetors. And I guess they think everybody's idiots or something. But anyways, I'll take the carburetor apart and we'll put it back together and it should run better. So that's my next job. I'm going to do that on the bench. And once again, these carburetors are so small, by the time you get your fingers on top of it, you can't put a camera on it. So I'll be back. All right, I got the carburetor all apart, and I want to show you the difference between the two. So here's the old one. You can see the dirt there, and if you look closely, right here and here, there's some raised areas in it. And here's the flat. Here's the two valves right here. Those were flat here, so they were still working. But the biggest thing I found was this. I don't know if you can see the difference here. I'm going to flip these over first. This is actually the back side. This here is caked with dirt, which was underneath this cover. So that goes on top there. And so that was one of the problems. But the diaphragm itself, and I don't know, I'm going to try to get closer with it. I'm going to flip it over so you can see it and try to get close. And you can see the ripples in this compared to this. Right there. This one's got ripples in it. So it doesn't have a hole in it, but it has lost some of its flexibility. So, and it's brittle. If you move it, it's stiffer than this nice soft one. So we're going to change that. We're going to get it all rebuilt, and we're going to get it on the blower and see if that makes it so I can adjust it. And I also got these darn things out right there. So these things here keep you from, you can only turn them like maybe an eighth of a turn, and you got to get them off of the adjuster right there. You can see the adjuster down in these holes right here. That sits this. This sits down into here and keeps you from adjusting them. Once you get them set, you can put these in there and then you can move them just an eighth of an inch. Anyways, that's that. And I'm going to replace the needle and seat. The kit that came with it comes with gaskets, needle and seat, and a screen, and two different needles and seats. So if imagine this thing is available to be used on two different carburetors. But anyways, we'll get it together. So we'll be back. All right, got the carburetor back on and the spark plug back in. And I think I got it in the run mode. Oh, I don't have that ground wire hooked up anyway. So let's give it a shot and see if it run. And before it was fluctuating in the idle. It was going up and down. You couldn't adjust it. So we're going to see what happens. Use my handy dandy starter here. right, it's running much better. It's still loading up a little bit, and I think it may be because of carbon buildup inside of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cover back on, and this other cover back, and I'm going to take it out here and run it and see if to clean it up, because it's running, because it was choked up so bad. I think the whole inside of the cylinder's head is all carboned up, but it's running pretty good. It starts right up. You've seen it. It fires right up. Let me hook this wire back up inside here. So what I've got unhooked is the kill switch, and it's just a wire that grounds out the coil. And I'm going to hook it up right now. A little bit warm to put my hands in there. They don't give you much room. So let me see, make sure that's on. Okay, so that's my plan now. Put all this back together, put the recoil on. I've got it cleaned up. I've got this cleaned. The cover is clean. Cleaned and did a little bit of repair work on it. It's ready to go back together. I want to show you this right here. This is a clutch. My brother Dave had one of these when I was down there, and I had to get one. So what happens is when I hold this and engage it, you can see it's turning. And if I reverse it, it's ratcheting. And there's an adjustment here, right here. And you can also lock it, so you gotta be careful. But what you wanna do is, when the engine starts, then it freewheels. And when I'm starting it like that, it turns it. It's really handy because when you're trying to pull this and hold on to this, it's jumping around, and it's a little bit tougher. This just made it so much easier. And once I get it outside, then I can start it and pull it without running into cameras and a lot of stuff around behind me. So that'll be the next time. Next time I come back to the camera, I'll have this all done, and I'll have already taken it out and run it. And we'll call it a complete project at that time. But let me put it back together and go out and run it, and let's see how it looks after that. All right, it's all back together. I took it out. It's warm right now. I just took it out and ran it, and had to adjust it a little bit on the carburetor. It was running a little bit lean, but it's running pretty good now. Let's try to start it again. That'll work. Okay. You see what's going on with the recoil. It's always something. Clean the dirt out of the recoil. Now now what? But anyways, it runs. It runs much better than it was. We couldn't even start it, and I'm not too sure about the fuel mixture. It may be a little rich. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look. I don't even know what mixture we got in here because this fuel was in there. It runs. That's pretty good. I would say that yeah, spring's slipping. I'm gonna have to take that apart, but that's an easy fix. So what's happening here is down inside the spring is not grabbing this, or this is not grabbing the spring. You can hear it. So I'll take that apart and put it back together, but I'm gonna call this one done. It runs good. I'd like to run some fuel out through it and then try to get the right mixture in there. And it runs much better with a clean filter. This is not acceptable. So if you have one of these, you either got to clean this or replace them more, quite often. I think they said about every 10 hours, because this is what it will cause: a black carboned up spark plug, and it carboned up everything inside. Now the diaphragm in the carburetor. Once I've got this thing running, it was cycling up and down, and that was, I believe, it was the fuel pump in the carburetor, and it's not doing that anymore. I think the more this runs, the better it's going to get as it cleans up. But now I'm going to call it a completed project. If you like what you see, please subscribe, let other people know about it, and give me a thumbs up. And let's see what I got coming up next. Thank you.